Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84. Now you may recall, possibly, a couple of weeks ago I bought some fruit, some my exotic fruit. Bought a small box full just to try, some of which I obviously did tastings for on camera, and a couple of which I didn't bother doing at all because I've done them before loads of times and they'd be too boring and repetitive. But of particular interest to me was the fact that they had in stock, and last time I tried to buy them they were sold out, they didn't have any. They had in stock two different types of dried persimmon in terms of the appearance and style and where they've originated from. Now they might possibly be the same variety, that's near impossible to tell, and I think one of them will be closer to what I think the Japanese refer to as hoshigaki, and the other one is a different style of dried persimmon. Now the origin of these ones here came from Turkey. Now you might be looking at those and thinking, oh, they don't look very appetising, they look mouldy, but actually all of this is sugar crystals on the outside. This isn't mould on them at all. They will last for months and months if they've been dried properly, and you can see from the shape of the persimmon that it's an elongated persimmon, and it is normally common for, it seems to be common for the dried persimmons to be made with the elongated varieties. Quite often Hychia is the most common one. Now the other ones are Chinese dried persimmons, and again there's a little bit of crystallisation on there, not much. Similar in colour, one's a little bit darker, but these are Chinese ones and obviously haven't been dried for as long, or possibly it's a different drying process to the Turkish ones. But I thought it'd be fun to compare the two sorts to see whether one is better than the other, or if they're the same, and which one I prefer, just to give people an idea what they might prefer. And again, looking at the shape of the fruit, I'm thinking that this might well be a Hychia, which I've got. It could also be a Hira Tananashi, which I've also got. So let's open these bags up. I'll flip the camera around and we'll have a look at them both close up, cut them in half and see what they look like. Back with you in a minute. So welcome back to part 2 of the video, and as you can see I'm actually sitting outside doing this, which is remarkable. I've had the first bit of decent we've had for ages. So let's have a look at the Turkish one first. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a fig with that sort of ridged appearance to when it dries, but obviously figs tend to have a much more typical fig shape. This doesn't rub off this crystallised sugar. It's quite soft but well stuck to the fruit. I'm hoping obviously to try and make dried persimmons eventually myself. In fact, I've got a feeling that they will be nicer to eat than fresh persimmons in this country, because I think it concentrates the sugars a lot better. And one of the problems I've been getting here with my persimmons when I try and eat them fresh is they haven't got much sugar content, but it should get better when they're dried. Also looks a little bit like one of those mushrooms. There's a wrinkly mushroom that looks a little bit like that when you see the cap on it. You may have seen it in the fancy areas of some supermarkets. Anyway, let's cut this in half. Don't know if it'll have a seed in it or not. I'll try and cut it in half, I should say. It's got a kind of a slightly soft squashiness. It's squashy inside. Let you see the inside. It looks a bit like a date, like a Chinese jujube, for example. So let's see what this tastes like. It's got a very, I would say, reminiscent of a date flavour, as dried fruits often do. No seeds in here. I was kind of thinking quite soft and chewy, like a dried fig. I was imagining, I think it would be a little bit softer than it is. Not softer, a bit sweeter. Perhaps not as sweet as I was expecting. Not sure the best place to store them. I've just had them out on a table in the kitchen. I don't think they should be refrigerated. Pleasant. I think it might depend if you like dried fruits. I mean, if you like dried dates, dried figs, I would imagine you'd very much enjoy these. I quite like my dried fruits. Apart from the sugar content, they're healthy for you, they're high in fibre. Very pleasant. Now, of interest here, hopefully these are still alright to eat because they're not dried as much, is the Chinese dried one. Now the advantage of the other one being dried more is clearly it's going to be preserved and last a lot longer. So this one probably won't last as long. I'm wondering if this should go into the fridge possibly. A lot more orangey inside. See what this one's like. Now this one's definitely much softer inside. I wouldn't say it's any sweeter. It has got a bit of a persimmony taste. I mean, people rave about these in the Far East. It's pleasant, but I don't think I'd be raving over it. Of course, you don't know what sort of quality they are, exactly where they've come from, or how long ago they were done, or what price was paid for them. It may well be that the best ones are kept for China and Japan, and then they send the other stuff over here. There's no reason for them to, but they might think we don't know any different. Can't tell you if I prefer that. I don't know if I like that one more or the other one more, to be honest. But again, there's no seed in it, so I think they use probably unpollinated persimmons where possible. But it was pleasant, very nice. I'm not overwhelmed, but worth eating. I think I'll put the others in the fridge to make sure I preserve them. Even that's not the way to look after them. Leave them out at room temperature, there's a chance they might go too mouldy to eat. Probably a little bit of mould wouldn't do you any harm, but you don't want to be eating a particularly mouldy fruit. So that's the Chinese dried persimmon. Advertised as Chinese, maybe it's Japanese and they made a mistake, but I'm guessing they've come from China where they must grow loads of persimmons. Anyway, I hope that video is of some interest for you. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share the video if you think it'll interest anybody. And click on the bell to know when new videos come out. See you all soon. Press out for now.